Hi everybody, I apologise for the appearance at the beginning of this video, but I'm going to be trying out the Revolution foundation sticks today, and I wanted to start out with clear skin. I haven't actually primed yet, so I am going to do that, and I'm going to put my hair up obviously. I want to apologise for the roots. I did order my hair dye but it hasn't come yet, so I've chased that up with the seller and not sure what's really happening, but they've actually sent out replacements. So that should come this week, and then I can dye my hair because I start a new teaching position, not this week but next week, and I'm really excited about it. So I do need to drastically get those roots done. Also today I am wearing one of my favourite jumpers. It says not today and it's Grumpy Cat, and I absolutely love this jumper. There's a bit of a joke in the house when I wear it. It's like kind of a message to my husband, like, not today, please don't mess today, but it's not really. That's just a joke that he makes. So I'm gonna not talk with my mouth full. I'm just going to pop this up. I always just clip it up like that, and then I take what's hanging and clip that in, so it just ends up like sort of a bun sort of situation. At the moment I do have a couple of spots. Just finished my period, so I have a little cluster here, which seems to be the spot that I always get them. I have got a particularly horrible one here, and I've got a couple that are actually, these are actually all clearing up now, but I do have some rosacea, so that's why I'm red. I suffer from rosacea, I have combination skin, and I am spot prone. So just to kind of give you a heads up about kind of my skin type really. I tend to get oily here, so around the nose area is an oily place for me. A little bit here, here on the forehead occasionally, and a little bit on the chin. So it kind of tends to be the middle part of my face that gets oily. So what we're going to do is prime first. I'm actually working my way through this Gosh one. It's a Velvet Touch primer. The Line Perfector primer. As you can see, I don't have a great deal left. I love this primer. It feels very velvety and soft on the skin. I don't think they actually do this one anymore. And I haven't actually used these. Oh, I did. I used one. Basically, the first one I got was F1. And I'm going to show you the colours I have got. So I got F1. And that is it there. It's really lovely, but it is very pale. And it's fine, but I thought I could do with maybe just going a couple of shades up, just to find something, or a shade or two up at least, to kind of just not be. I mean, it is quite ghostly when you spread it all over your face. So I also got F2. That's that one there. So you can see that's just a little more colour to it. It's a bit of a neutral undertone, so I did end up picking up F3. Which is more of a peach tone. So I'm probably more going to use the F3 and the F1 mixed together. I will just use up the F2 in the summer because I think it's just a little bit more, I don't know, it's a neutral tone, but I think that's something more that I probably use up in the summer just because it's got a little bit more colour than the other two, if that makes sense. So today I'm going to be using F3 and F1. I love how these are labelled on the bottom. And I don't mean, oh, you might say, oh Lisa, lots of things are labelled, but it doesn't have all the other information on. It literally just says the colour, which is great, because when you pick it up and you haven't got your glasses on, you can actually see that. Some things are printed so small, you're like, oh, I don't know how to get my magnifying glass out. So I'm really appreciative of the larger print on the bottom. And then I picked up a bronze and a contour. Now, I kind of went along with what the L'Oreal ones were. So I went for the darker shade and then a shade a couple down from that for my contour. But, yes, well, I'll show you the swatches and you'll see. But the packaging on these I didn't show you. It's really nice. It's a matte packaging. It just says Revolution on there. I'm glad they changed the name. It doesn't need to be Makeup Revolution. I much prefer Revolution. So this one is F14. And this one is amazing for contour. And it's actually a lot cooler than the kind of couple of shades down from the darkest one in the L'Oreal. The other one that I got from L'Oreal is quite orange, and this one's really not. So I think that's going to work out really amazing as a contour. But that was meant to be for bronzing. This was supposed to be my contour, which is F18. F18 is crazy. It's so dark. I mean, I know I can make it work because it's all about blending it. So we're going to see anyway. I am going to actually use them for what I actually bought them for in this video. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. Currently on 3 for 2 at Superdrug. and they're only £5 each. Now what I'm applying it with is I'm just going to use this Sigma Kabuki brush. This is the curved Kabuki. I also have the Dropper foundation from Revolution to try as well, and I also have the full coverage. So I'm actually going to do a series of videos looking at each of the different foundations and the pros and cons of each, and then you can kind of decide which one's going to be best for you. I thought it would be best to do it that way. I was going to do it all as one video, but I'd really rather chat about things as I'm putting them on rather than make it a very quick video and not really be very informative, because you know I do like to talk. So what we're going to do is we're just going to draw these on. So F1 is a lighter shade, and I'm just going to pop that under the eyes. Centre the forehead, down the nose, a little on the chin. Maybe we'll put it here as well. It's really creamy. Feels so creamy when you glide it on. It's absolutely amazing. And then I'm going to use F3. That seems like a lot, but it's just a light touch. It's not a lot of product. I might even need to go in with more of that. So some people are really clever. I'm amazed by them really. And they can actually do the contour stripes, the highlighting and the foundation, and they can blend it in perfectly, and I just can't do that. So I prefer to put this on first and then do the contouring and bronzing. And I basically just kind of dab at it. So that is one side done. Pretty impressive for just like one layer of that to cover that redness, because it really was quite angry. So of course it hasn't really fully covered this up here, but I didn't expect it to, because that is really a really angry spot. But we'll go ahead and just kind of blend in the rest. Like I said, I tend to kind of stab at it a little bit here. So kind of pattern motions really. And that is basically it. I'm really happy with that. I think the match is really good, and I think that it actually looks really good on the skin. It feels really lightweight. It doesn't feel like really heavy. It feels slightly tacky, but it doesn't feel like really heavy on the skin. So what I'm just going to do is pop a little bit more of the F3. Just on those little areas there. There we go. So that has taken 2 layers, and I'm actually really happy with where we're at here now. Because ultimately I will usually, no matter what I'm wearing, end up with some sort of redness shown through. As depressing as that is kind of the reality. I just have, my redness just does not want to be hidden a lot of the time. It's like, hello, still here. But you can just see the coverage is really nice. It's not cakey in any way. It feels really comfortable. And I have worn this, like I said, I did wear F1 the other day. I did like it. I felt it was just quite pale when it was all over. And I did bronze it up and everything, so it was absolutely fine. So, you know, in the winter probably I might be a bit more inclined. I actually think that they could definitely go a shade lighter though, because I think just for highlighting purposes it would be quite nice to see something, because if you look at that, it's kind of blended into my skin. So F1 is by no means light enough for me to consider it a highlighting shade. I'm quite eager to try out the Barry Milk Concealer, because SOPHDOESNAILS actually used that and it seemed really pale on her. And I'm always the palest in every single foundation, so it's really quite nice for me to see that actually I can get away with the F3 here and not necessarily have to go to the lightest shade, but still the lightest shade is, it's you know, you can see there wasn't a great deal of difference in the shades between the F1 and the F3. They're quite close. I've heard they're bringing out half shades as well, so 0.5s, so that'll be quite interesting. I don't know whether they'll bother bringing out something that's kind of, you know, below 1. I know that makes no sense, but you know, really technically they should bring out a 0 across the range, so that a 0 is a hell of a lot lighter than 1, and then that would then be something that a pale girl could actually use to highlight. But enough jabbering. We're going to go on to use an F14. And I'm just going to put a little bit up there for now. I'm a bit scared of it. Just blend it out. What you have to give these foundations is their blendability is just absolutely amazing. Look at that. That has instantly blended in. And it has just done the job of kind of bringing down the size of the forehead, although I don't have a huge forehead, but it brings down the size. It creates this certainly brighter spot in the centre, which is what you want, so you don't necessarily need to use a lot of brightening products there. Not if you're going to bronze, because by the time you've bronzed it will make that area brighter. But it just kind of just shapes the face, which is what I really like. Now I'm going to try a little bit of F18. I am concerned that this is a lot darker than L'Oreal darker shade, and it may be a bit too dark, but we will try it. I'm going to use the same brush because I really like using this kabuki to kind of do that blending. And I'm just going to do a little bit there because I don't want to go crazy. What I like about that is the red kind of shade in it. But what I'm going to do is, I know this is going to look really uneven, but I'm not going anywhere, so I'm going to do that on that side. I'm going to take F14 and try it on the other side. Notice I don't use a lot because these blend out beautifully and they blend quite far. So don't think, oh, I need to draw a big line across my face, because you know, you might end up with just a bit too much. That is a lot more natural than that side, but I think I prefer that side because that actually looks more of a shadow. So I'm just going to take a tiny bit of the dark here and just put that there. Now I only ever use a dark contour right at the back here, because that is your deepest hollow, is right at the back of the cheek here. If I did that right down here, it would look ridiculous. So I'm kind of creating that illusion of that deeper shadow coming down to a slightly less shadow where my face becomes a bit fuller. It just looks a lot more natural. And I kind of just picked this up off people who have similar shaped faces to me. Now I like those two colours together. As much as I do, I actually like both. I don't have a problem with either. I think that this is a little warmer because you've got that bronzy shade, and it's definitely a warmer shade. You can see up here that it's warmer. And then I've got that little bit more depth at the back, but I do actually think that I do like actually 18 to do a full contour, because I just like kind of how natural that looks. And then what you can do is, I'm going to be very light-handed, you can, if you want a bit more, just kind of dab at the actual product and then take it and do that. And then what I do sometimes is I will then take, right, so I've got this brush, which is the Bold Metals, which I think they are discontinuing, which is very sad, but I'm taking the Bold Metals contour. I should pick up another one of these. I mean, I know it's still perfect and everything, but it's my favourite contour brush. And then I will just run that across C1 and just bring that under the contour. So this is just kind of sharpening up that contour. You don't have to do this, this is totally optional. I quite like doing it. And then the great thing with this is it's foundation. So if you feel you brought your contour too far down, you can always just tidy it up with this brush with whatever is left on it, because it'll only be a tiny amount by the time that you've actually done that. So that's what I like to do. Okay, and that is it. I'm not going to do any of the rest of the stuff because I'm actually going to film now another video putting actual makeup on because I have a new palette to share. But that is basically the foundation. I absolutely love it. I do think that it all blends together beautifully. It blends out nice. You could see the coverage was absolutely fantastic on this foundation. I wore this the other day. And I will say after I didn't do any touch-ups at all because I wanted to kind of see how it would wear over the day. It wasn't a hot day, it was just an ordinary day, and I did feel like I got quite oily around the nose area and on the forehead and the chin. So my usual oily areas did get a little bit sort of, they felt very oily, and I felt like you could see that the foundation was not doing quite so well around those areas. It does seem to last quite well, it doesn't seem to rub off too easy. You can definitely feel you've got foundation on there, but I don't feel like it feels really heavy or cakey. And that's because I just layered it, blended it all in, and then just went in the areas that I needed that bit extra coverage on. So I think that after 10 or 11 hours, I definitely was feeling like it was feeling just uncomfortable, like I wanted to take it off by that stage. But I do think if I had been using blotting powder throughout the day and powdering and kind of keeping those areas under control, kind of removing the excess oil, I think that it actually probably would have worn quite well. And I think 10 hours is actually pretty good for a foundation, and definitely, like I said, I would have got a couple of more hours out of it if I'd looked after it. I just kind of wanted to see how it would work. I don't know how it's going to work in heat, but yeah, I really like it, and I do love those sticks for the contouring as well. I think it's quite a nice sort of natural contour and for bronzing, and they're 3 for 2, and they're great. I just picked up another concealer, and yeah, 3 for 2. £10 for 3, so you could literally get your foundation, bronze and contour. And it's great to just be able to kind of draw a couple of lines on your face and blend it in. It's definitely a very quick job. So that's it for today's review on this foundation. Please do check out my channel in the next week or the next week or two for reviews of the other two foundations. One of them is more sheer, one is more full coverage, so I kind of feel like this is the middle ground sort of foundation. And yeah, I'm really enjoying using them. I think they're a great price point, and they've done a great job with the formula. So that's it for today's video, guys. I really hope you've enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe if you have. I was going to usually say my usual. I'm trying not to. I usually say I'm going to love and leave you and see you all soon. But I'm just going to say have a great day wherever you are and whatever you're doing, and I'm going to see you in the next video. Bye.